Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Gabriel Knight, the 20th Anniversary Edition. Last time, we got quite a lecture from an expert on ancient voodoo. And also scared away a white voodoo lady, as you can see by the turned over chair. Don't know what happened with that, but oh well. Alright, so let's go back to the Casino residence. We know what Capri San Colon means now. Maybe she'll tell us a bit more about that. So, of course, we want to put our disguise back on.
Alright, but this is...
Sorry, ladies.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin back again, don't you know?
Yes, Father. Come on in.
Alright.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
So let's talk to her again.
Do you mind if I ask...
If you wish.
Looks like we have some new things here too, so we'll go over them in a sec. Actually, wait, let's go over Capri San Colon last, just in case.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
No, I won't say anything more.
Oh yeah, we already said that. Vivi.
Do you know anything about Veves?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, something I was noticing about this game that's kind of cool. You sort of have three sources of voodoo information. You have the instructor guy that we saw last episode, who is an expert on ancient voodoo from Africa. But then we have the museum guy. Geez, I'm losing names right now. Dr. Something or other, who was an expert on voodoo and how it came from Africa to New Orleans. Then we have Madame Casino here, who seems to know a lot about New Orleans voodoo, so it sort of like kind of goes down a timeline of different kinds of experts.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Oh, yes, Father. It is the wickedest kind. The kind they practice here in New Orleans.
Anyway, all of that is actually going to be very, very important for us to know each step along the way.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Alright, so she couldn't give us anything new there, but...
That Capri San Colon thing.
Do not continue to tease me, Father. You know what it means as well as I.
It means goat without horns.
Father, you surprised me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
Yikes.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans, but the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
The real voodoo queens.
Who are the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound for.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in New Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear their drums at night, oh yes. That's why I'm so ill, I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there, I can tell you. I'll show you something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Basil.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if ever there was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I've always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Even though its vibes aren't great, let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now let us pray.
So this is interesting. It would let someone into the voodoo ceremonies, but obviously we can't take that with us. But let's make a copy of it using clay. For research purposes, of course. We're not actually going to go into a voodoo hand for it. We're not going that far for a novel, are we?
Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
Get a lasting impression hat. Alright. Nothing else to say about Marie Laveau now?
Tell me, Ma.
She was only
Oh, here we
a
go.
hunt for the real evildoers, Father. And that's the truth about Marie Laveau.
And that's why the topic stayed white, because she still had that to say about it, but wouldn't trigger until we talked about the real voodoo queens. So that's all we can do here now.
Bless you, my child.
Bless you, Father McLaughlin.
So where should we go next?
I'm not going back.
Yeah. I want to see about that cemetery. We saw some symbols there before. Maybe they've changed or there's something new. So, the cemetery up here. But actually, where we really want to go is to the Getty tomb.
Malia?
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
Unnoticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else,
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
whatever for?
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I've got a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See, I knew it. You're crazy about me too. Come by tonight. Please? My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
Okay, a quick word to all my male viewers. Don't act like that with women. With anybody really, but especially with women. It will not work, it will creep them out. The end. Oh boy, but this is a game, this is fiction. I know, unless there's
It's
some ladies out
getting
there.
late.
Oh.
Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Yeah, there's some ladies out there that will say otherwise. Leave a comment in the comment box below.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh? I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he? Here?
I really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight.
Poor Grace.
You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. I could show you around a little. It's not much, but...
Please don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
Day 4. I spoke to one who smelled of death. He gave to me his ears, and crosses that were marked were made into a veil of tears. Ooh. Luckily Grace just missed her. Oh. This would have been funny if that newspaper kid had hit Molly in the face instead. Why am I so set on that? I don't know. There's just something funny when I think about that. Oh well. Do you ever wash that cup, bro? I mean, come on.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Have it your way. Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Yeah, he gives me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.
That is really weird. Look at this guy.
Gabriel watches the man watching the shop.
I mean, he's not even being subtle.
Get the hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond.
Maybe he's window shopping? I didn't know we had a welcome mat. I didn't see that
The
before.
welcome mat is well worn. Unfortunately, that's only because Gabriel picked it up second-hand, not because of the stampede of customers. There could be a secret passage under the doormat, but we didn't have time.
I wonder if that's something they'd planned to do but didn't. Anyway, let's talk to Grace.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Ooh, no. Makes my skin crawl, though.
Have you ever heard of Dambala?
No, sorry.
Do you know anything about Veves?
Not a clue. Sorry.
Ritual patterns used in voodoo.
Fascinating. I can't help you out, though.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
In New Orleans?
I think so.
No, I don't, but it sounds dangerous. You're not gonna try to find this voodoo group yourself, are you?
Would I do that?
You're sweet to worry, Grace.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Ugh, now what are you getting yourself into?
Nothing you need to know about, do you?
I know there are dark forms of any major religion. Where there's a yin, there's a yang.
Speaking of yin and yang...
But no, I don't know anything really about voodoo, dark or otherwise, sorry.
Are you sure you don't know anything about black voodoo?
You are desperate. I told you I can't help you.
Do you have messages for me?
Your grandmother called. She said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think in the first Gabriel night you got to your grandmother right away, but it took a few days in this one.
Do you have messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard it from him since day one.
Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure, I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Yuck. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want, but check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out.
Well, we do already...
Anything else?
We do already have a guy doing that for us, and kind of for himself. But oh well, I guess it can't help... It can only help to have a second pair of hands.
I can't think of anything.
Alright.
Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
You're the best, Grace. Alright, and of course we want to read the newspaper for the day.
Time stated June 21st, 1993. Gabriel's eye is immediately drawn to an article about the voodoo murder. He scans it quickly.
I don't believe this. They've closed the case.
What case?
The voodoo murders case. The paper says that the police have learned that the murders were a result of an underworld cartel war, and that the war is over.
That's not good?
It's ridiculous. And what about the killers? And the voodoo angle, they never got anything on that.
I know you were into it, Gabriel, but if it's over, that's hardly a negative. Anyway, if you're that upset, why don't you talk it over with your pal Mosley?
You don't get it, Grace. Just forget it, okay?
Gabriel decides to check his horoscope, despite his disgust. Death walks close to you today. Resist temptation lest his eye fall on you, too.
Peachy.
Gabriel also spots an ad for Sam Springleton, a jeweler. Sam hangs out at the Napoleon House.
Interesting. That's really fortuitous since we have a mold of a bracelet. Anyway, case closed. Voodoo murders solved. The so-called voodoo murders are over at last, says Detective Franklin Mosley of the New Orleans Police Department. Our investigation has turned up that these murders were the result of an underworld drug cartel war, said Mosley at a press conference yesterday evening. That war has now ended and the people of this great city are safe again. The police say they are doubling efforts to crack down on the underworld drug trade that briefly turned New Orleans into its private battleground. That can't be right at all. So, anyway, let's see. 124 points, perfect. Let's go talk to Mosley.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
We gotta pass by that creepy guy on the way out. But it's true. Anyway, the Napoleon House is a new destination, but we're not going there yet. To the police station. The drummer outside there again. Alright, Mosley, we have some stern words for you. Let's go on through.
Knight, hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The voodoo murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Son of a bitch.
What's with this music? It wasn't playing this music before, was it?
have to tell you, bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
But we're still gonna ask him about all this stuff.
Do you know anything about veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight? That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These veves...
Look, just stop worrying about those marks. I don't think they're relevant.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
What do you know about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Sounds like a put-on to me.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
You mean gumbo?
No, I mean Damballa.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Oh, come on. Somebody's pulling your leg, Knight.
Are you sure?
Ain't nothing secret about voodoo in New Orleans. There's a museum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that's the stuff they want you to see.
You're getting mighty paranoid, Knight.
I think we have a good reason for that.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I told you, you're nuts. Drop it.
You know, a fun Easter egg they could have done here is, like, you can kind of see her computer screen from here. It'd be funny to see her, like, open up, like, old school King's Quest or something and start playing that. Oh well. It's too late now.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Say what?
Ogun Badagri. It's a voodoo loa.
Speak English or shut up, Knight.
Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you. Guess I'll take that as a no.
That's why you thought the voodoo murders were fake voodoo, because you don't even know the terminology. You didn't even do your research. Come on, buddy.
Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to talk about that for now? We're not doing the book anymore. Besides, you already know too much about me, Knight.
Why would the case being closed, like, preempt the book being written? There's still stuff to be looked at.
What's the status on the voodoo murders case?
The case? What case? I told you, the voodoo murders case is closed.
How can you just close it? It's not solved, is it?
Oh, it's solved. Turns out the Chicago Mafia was trying to invade local territory. Use the Mississippi for drug running now that Florida's so hot. What we had here was a little resistance from the local businessmen. Word came in this morning that the Chicago group is giving up and pulling out of Nolans.
But that doesn't bring the killers to justice.
Well, the boys upstairs seem to figure it this way. Let the slime kill each other. Better the vermin we know than Chicago vermin, I guess. The attitude in the department is that we just been done a huge favor. And they're probably right.
What about the local cartel? Are you just gonna let them go?
At least they're part of us. We'll deal with them over time. Always have. Nolans is pretty clean that way, you know.
Well, that's the illusion, isn't it?
Look, I'm not totally in agreement here either. But what can I do? These guys are not about to get caught. I'm disappointed about the book, too. Look, next big murder case I get, I'll call you in, and we'll do that one up right, okay? In fact, I could probably dig up some old cases, and you could spice them up.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't know how it was in the 90s, but I know right now New Orleans has one of the highest violent crime rates in the country, so, you guys definitely weren't doing your job, and you're still not.
What's the status on the voodoo murders case?
I told you, it's closed.
What's the
The case is closed. There's nothing more to discuss.
What's the
The case is...
Okay. I still stay in white, so there might be more to it.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to Prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Okay, so yeah, the way you could tell by the way that was sort of spaced out that there's 3 things we need to do, and that's gonna kind of be our next goal here. So there's nothing else to do here. Let's get out.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Ciao, baby.
Well, that's unfortunate, but we can do a little bit more legwork and get this case reopened. But what else can we find out about this voodoo cult? And what can we find out from our grandmother and from searching for our father's stuff? I'm sure it has nothing to do with any of this. Well, we'll see all about all that next time on Let's Play Gabriel Knight, the 20th Anniversary Edition. Thank you for watching and have a good day.